ECDC has insufficient cash liquidity, capital reserve to provide high-value financing solutions for clients and programs in implementation. Therefore, as the African National Congress, we of the view that ECDC must dispose of non-core property assets to improve the liquidity and capital reserve status to enable it to provide a high-value financing solution for clients and program implementation. Honorable Speaker, as the African National Congress, we have a great concern about challenges that are being faced by ECDC, especially relating with the property portfolio, such that some of their properties are being invaded and some do not generate any revenue, of which they need to have a proper strategy in place and also work with law enforcement agencies in order to get everything right. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, the greater concern comes despite all these challenges they are facing. ECDC had vacancy rate 37.9% in 2022-23 financial year. We therefore request the ECDC management to urgently address this issue of vacancy rate and fill the vacant post, also considering that as the Eastern Cape, we are faced with higher rate of unemployment. East London IDZ. Honorable Speaker, we view the geopolitical outlook as a serious threat to our economic growth and also to the attraction of foreign direct investors. Therefore, since East London IDZ has a low success rate in attracting investors, they must think out of the box of attracting ways of attracting the new investors under these set realities. That geopolitical play in the global space and environment. We hope that the recent visit of our Premier and the President to China will have positive results in attracting the foreign direct investors. Hence, elites must also consider targeting the China original equipment manufacturing to invest in the SEZ. Honorable Speaker, as the Eastern Cape, we do not want to be left behind with current economic development, which are taking place in the global and the country. Therefore, as the ANC, we are thrilled that the special purpose vehicle for renewable energy project, Dabozuko, Berlin, was approved at the provincial level. However, it's stuck at national level, presenting challenges to its commencement. We urge the department to intervene by addressing the matter with national government and ensure is approved. Honorable Speaker, we urge provincial government to CDC. Honorable Speaker, we urge provincial government to support and assist the SMMEs with non-financial and financial support which they need to enter into the space of the ocean economy, especially SMMEs of black people, because they are experiencing challenges in venturing into this space. Whilst once their business are in operation, they create job opportunities, especially amongst the youth. Therefore, we note with great concern that a plan of aquaculture investment in CDC that was project to create over 5,000 job opportunities was announced by the Premier with the State of the Province address of 2022. Up until to date, CDC has not submitted any implementation plan of the investment of the committee to the committee. Therefore, we appeal to CDC to submit the implementation plan of the aquaculture investment to the committee so that the promised jobs, 5,000, will be created. Eastern Cape Parks and Tourism Agency. Honorable Speaker, the agency must establish international partnership and cooperation to address rhino poaching and climate change. Additionally, Eastern Cape Parks Tourism Agency must intensify a vetting of reserve personnel for secure competence. advocate for reserves to the financially sustainable. Furthermore, then there's need to be a formal education campaign that will involve law enforcement and through a competent partnership, devise policing methods to address the increased crime level of wildlife, as the current deployed green scorpions are not well equipped. Honorable Speaker, we are, with the tourist destination, as the province, we just need the stakeholders to work together in ensuring that our tourism packages are attractive to the tourists and are accessible with an easy and safe. Therefore, we not with disdain that it's access roads that lead to protect area and tourism destination are in poor state. Hence, as the African National Congress, we urge the agency to engage municipalities, DIT, and other stakeholders such as Department of Transport, Road and Public Works to prioritize road and infrastructure to protect areas and tourism destination, to unlock the full financial revenue potential of these destinations sector, because of all stakeholders need play their respective role effectively for this to be a success. The Eastern Cape Liquor Board, Honorable Speaker, as the African National Congress, we are concerned that there are a lot of carnage that happened on the road caused by drivers driving cars under the influence of alcohol. We urge the members of the communities to refrain from these bad tendencies and argue law enforcement agencies to be visible and on the road at all times. Therefore, the African National Congress, we note with great concern the ECLB has not conducted a study to qualify costs associated with alcohol consumption and abuse. The scope of the study must include cost of impact to health, education, security, and social development. Honorable Speaker, we are pleading with the department to make sure that the merger between ECLB and ECGP is finalized on the basis that the merger between ECLB has been slow in finalization, creating anxiety among the employees of the entity.
Honorable Member, your time is up. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable MSc, your 10 minutes starts now.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Deputy Speaker that is in the House, the Honorable Premier and colleagues, and the Honorable members of this august House, the HODs, and the community that is sitting up there, and also those that are listening at home. Mandini bulise nonke ngalimva kwemini, goeiemiddag almal. Dibulisa ngale nyanga yamagugu nenkcubeko ikwayiyo nenyanga yezokhenketho inyanga lika September. So I will encourage all honorable members to turn left, because it's a tourism month, to go and tour the Eastern Cape and also pay. Singafuni yohlala free, kodwa ke there's free access week from the 23rd to the 30th ka September kwezi ndawo, and you join us and explore Oviston, East London Coast, on Helix Neck and Bavian's Kloof, including Great Fish River, Thomas Baines, Waters, Meeting, Tsolwana and Commando Drift, Mpofu, Fort Fordyce, Silaka, Mkambati, and Shuleka. Entry if free from the 23rd to the 30th of September. This week, Ado Elephant Park is free from the 9th to the 13th. Apera Friday, so Friday you must go there. And also, Eqebeja on the 28th to the 29th of September, Sinekasi Food Festival. So you must go and taste Kasi food. It will be in Fear Plus, Funimfundo Primary School. It's done there, and abantu babango VIP, they will pay 5,000. Uhlale kwindawo yakho and you'll have your own chef and the buffet. But the entrance is free for the community. Starting from the debates by the honorable members here, as we all know that the Premier and his delegation, they are from China. It was not a tour and excursion. The Premier was there leading the delegation from the Eastern Cape to go and get investors so that they can come and invest in the Eastern Cape, more especially in the automotive industry. That's why when you read from papers, you will see that BYD have an interest to come to the Eastern Cape, because we've been talking to BYD since 2022 as the Eastern Cape government. And they are keen to come to Eastern Cape, and they are going to partner with a South African. Fortunately, that South African is a born and bred son of the Eastern Cape, Notumdozabisuka kwenye province, and also with the Global Dragon. Now he will be partnering with the South African and also with the taxi industry. And also coming to people, maybe they do not read some of these things. Imazepa Bay bivalo, but we've made sure that Imazepa Bay is not closed. Now Imazepa Bay vuliwe. We do have a new operator for Imazepa Bay hotel. And what we've said to the operator is that the operator must support the local businesses. And the people that are employed in the Mazepa Bay are people that are coming from that local community. And also coming to the Honorable Njoli, it's not good to always say things are, there's nothing that has been done. Sometimes and also say this is what you can do to improve what you are doing as this government. And you are saying there is rampant corruption, and I'm challenging you to come with evidence that in this department there is rampant corruption, so that those people can face the might of the law. Coming to the cannabis and hemp, this government is assisting business people that are applying for permits through Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform and its entity, ECRDE. And as this government, we are led by the Premier. We are going to have an economic summit where we will have all the stakeholders on board. We are preparing for that, so that we know how to stimulate and grow the economy of the province, and also how to make sure that whilst the economy is growing, it creates jobs. Sometimes economy can grow but not create jobs, but we want the economy that also creates jobs for the people that are unemployed in this province. That's why we're talking about the diversification of the economy, because as the Eastern Cape, we cannot only focus on automotive industry. That's why Premier Bete, agriculture is the mainstay of the province. So we need to focus on that, and we are going to implement, together with the Department of Rural Development and Agrarian Reform and other departments that are affected, the agriculture and agro-processing master plan, and also the oceans economy master plan, to turn things around. Coming to the report that has been tabled here by the Portfolio Committee, we have noted the concerns raised by the Portfolio Committee, and we appreciate the time and effort taken by the committee to thoroughly examine our work and identify areas for improvement. We take full responsibility for the shortcomings highlighted in the report, and we are committed to make sure that we improve, and we are learning from our mistakes. We acknowledge that there are challenges to address, and we are already taking steps to rectify the issues raised. Our department is dedicated to serving the public and delivering on our mandate. We are determined to make best of our challenges and draw a lesson from our mistakes. As one author wrote, close quote, "Do not place your mistakes on your head. Their weight may crush you. Instead, place them under your feet and use them as a platform to view your horizon." Close quote. Uzuti Butterworth next time. We will carefully consider each recommendation and implement changes to enhance our performance, efficiency, and accountability. We'll also ensure that our actions are transparent and communicated clearly to the public. We thank the Portfolio Committee for your diligence and commitment to promoting good governance. We look forward to working together to build a more effective and responsive department that serves our citizens with excellence. And Dongaina, Chair of Chairs, ukufola ku trap yokuba apha kufuneka ndiphinde ndizopresent policy speech ne-APP ne-OP. I presented it. So everybody that is all the honorable members in this house, they know exactly what are the plans of the department for 2024-2025. What is it that we are going to do, and the plans that we have for the industrial parks. So whenever we come here and talk, you must first read what was written there and say, you've said you are going to do this. Then at the end of the financial year,
1 minute
you
left.
must say you have not done what you've said you will do. On behalf of the department, I acknowledge and accept the report and will respond within 30 days as set forth. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Honorable. Let me see. Honorable members, I put the report. Any objection? Thank you very much. I will ask the Secretary to read the fourth order of the day.
Consideration of vote number 10, Transport Appropriation Bill 2024.
Thanks very much. The Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Transport, Honorable Tony. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of Chairs, Honorable Premier, and also to the already established protocol. Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I'm now going to present the report of the Portfolio Committee of Transport, which was agreed and discussed also by all honorable members of the committee. Chair, the department has been allocated an amount of 5,737,449 compared to the 5.78 that was initially allocated last year, which represent a decrease of 0.8%. Chair, I'm going to deal with the findings too and also to the recommendation just to manage time with the hope that the report was already circulated to all members of the House. Chair, on findings, A, which is the department's goods and service budget, is notably decreasing in every financial year despite the dire need of services on the key sub-programs such as scholar transport, which is greatly affected by a huge budget decrease of 29%, which represent contractors, fuel for government fleet services, and also for traffic officers. C, the department continues to offer external bursaries, but it is unable to employ the bursary holders to enable them to service the department in line with their bursary agreement. Chair, on recommendation A, the department must provide the committee with a plan on how it will maximize efficiencies within the available resources and ensure that critical services such as scholar transport, contractors, community development projects are not adversely affected by the budget decrease. On E, Chair, the scholar transport digital system must be urgently implemented to monitor scholar transport payment to operators. I'll move, Chair, to Program 2, which is the transport infrastructure. We have noted, Chair, the findings on A, the department incurred fruitless and wasteful expenditure for the overpayment contractors and consultants, which we have identified 3 projects, which is a road between Eliteni and R56 that happened in 2021. Also, the road to Mlamli Hospital. The last one was the Mlamli Hospital, also the Figile Guadana Road. On B, Chair, various defects of Welisizwe Bridge program were identified also by the Auditor General. We'll move, Chair, to the recommendation. We'd like to submit a recommendation which is on C. The department must ensure that the estimated timelines for completion of the project are set as it is the important project management tool. We'll move, Chair, to F. The project manager must be assigned to monitor road construction project to avoid shoddy work done by contractors and to ensure that the expected results are achieved. We'll move, Chair, with speed on program 3, which deals with the transport operation. Chair, on finding, which is on B on your report, the budget allocated for scholar transport has been reduced and will only be able to transport 103 deserving learners, whilst we have the department identified 146,000 with a shortage of 43,000. Chair, on E, the department has planned to resuscitate some of the railway lines in the province, but there are some that will play a critical role in the economic outlook of the province that has been let out. Chair, on recommendation C, the department must urgently implement the automated scholar transport system as it was promised that it will be up and running at the beginning of the current financial year. E, Chair, the department must engage with PRASA and Transnet regarding resuscitation of railway infrastructure and other rail-related matters in the province. On program 4, Chair, which is the transport regulation, we have identified on findings, Chair, A, the department still has a shortage of human resource that will be able to implement a 24/7 shift across the province due to the budgetary constraints. On B, Chair, there are not enough speed cameras in the province to curb reckless drivers and to assist the department with the revenue collection that will also avoid fatalities that are taking place throughout our roads. We therefore recommend, Chair, on B, that the department must consider putting more speed cameras on the road in order to promote responsible driving, curb road accident and fatalities, and to assist in the revenue generation in the case of non-compliance with the applicable speed limit. On C, Chair, the department, in consultation with the Department of Sport, Recreation, Art and Culture, must remove and replace all city names which are now gazetted. Chair, on program 5, which deals with the community-based transportation, our findings, Chair, is on A, which is the program is commended for implementing the Employment Equity Act by recruiting women, youth, people living with disability in the EPWP programs. We therefore recommend, Chair, that the program must continue to do the sterling job. Chair, on trading entities, which is the Government Fleet Management Service Trading, our findings, Chair, that the entity is still experiencing continuous non-payment by user department, especially health department, which owes the department 529 million, which impact negatively on the ability of the trading entity to timelessly replace vehicles. We therefore also, Chair, on the finding, there are an increase of theft and hijacking of government vehicles, mostly in the area of Tambo District, Nelson Mandela, and also areas despite having fitted the tracker system. We therefore recommend, Chair, that on A, the department and the entity must continue to engage all the departments that owe the entity and to ensure that the department pay the outstanding amounts. Also, Chair, on C, the departments must engage the provincial treasury on allocation of more funds for the entity and on the negative effect to surrender of funds as the entity operation. Chair, will move to the Ibuye Transport Corporation and deal with the findings, which the entity is unable to service 100 routes that was allocated to it despite need for its service. It is currently servicing 66 routes due to budgetary constraints. Also, Chair, on the finding is on D, the corporation is faced with the challenge of aging fleet, which has a negative impact on the equity entity operation, but the entity doesn't have a costed plan for the replacement of the aging fleet. We therefore recommend on A, that the department must engage the National Treasurer for more funding to enable the corporation to service the allocated routes and provide proper service to its communities. On D, Chair, the corporation must develop a costed plan for the replacement of the aging fleet and engage the provincial treasurer for the funding for the replacement of the aging fleet. On general findings, Chair, the budget of the department is not sufficient considering the poor road conditions of the province. Also, the department must engage the national treasurer for the allocation of more budget to improve road conditions of the province. I would like, Chair, to take this opportunity to thank the members of the committee and also members of the committee, the Department of Transport, and also the support staff that have provided support to the members of the committee for us to arrive at this position, and the assistance, Chair, that was provided to the committee. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much to the committee chairperson, Honorable Tony. Honorable members, questions to the committee? None. Questions to the embassy? None. Can we then go to Honorable Mokhatose? Your 9 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, honorable members, Dumelang. We are considering this budget vote against the backdrop of significant number of challenges and opportunities in our province. This department plays an important and crucial role in connecting our communities, facilitating economic growth, and ensuring the safety of our citizens on the roads. There's not a single department that will come here and that has come here that does not speak about the importance of this department. Let us first acknowledge the positive aspects highlighted in the Premier's SOPA. The 22 billion worth of project in Alfred Nzo and OR Tambo. Secondly, the appetite for construction of tar roads in villages, which is a significant step in rural development. The creation of over 6,000 jobs through road construction and the benefit to more than 700 SMMEs and contract packages. Although these achievements are commendable and align with our shared goal of continuing to steer away this province from a technical recession, Honorable Khune, you must ask Professor Sandatoi from your alma mater, NAFCOC, and other aspects, other people that have also mentioned that we were in a technical recession, but we must continue to veer away from that technical recession. Honorable Premier, this budget does not seem to agree that this department is actually an economic enabler. I'll highlight those points. Our overall budget has decreased by a whopping 44.1 million. Goods and services, which include key components like contractors, road maintenance, has increased by 219 million rands. Despite the increase in provincial roads maintenance grant, the actual budget for maintenance has actually decreased by 6 million. There are about 445 designed roads that are yet to be implemented, and we don't have the financial resources seemingly to actually implement these. We do not seem to address the 235 kilometers of incomplete road projects that have been abandoned. Honorable Chair, given these concerns, with good conscience, I do not think it will be morally responsible to support or fully support this budget in its current format. However, we believe that with some decisive adjustment and stronger focus on efficient service delivery, we could craft a budget that truly serves the needs of all our people. In the spirit of collaboration and constructive engagement, we offer the following suggestions. And on the 6th, we are going to focus on some of the focus areas we believe will be addressing some of the challenges we have. The first one is seeing roads as economic enabler. Honorable Kruger was here speaking about we have cut the budget by 17%. We are also not prioritizing roads that serve as an economic catalyst, particularly what MEC was talking about, the Bavians. The roads that lead there are not actually viable for tourists to go into. The current budget does not adequately support tourism infrastructure, and we propose that it needs to be reassessed so that we can prioritize this economically significant area. The transfer of roads to SANRAL, just to alleviate some pressure on our limited provincial resources, we suggest that some of these can be strategically reallocated to SANRAL so that we can free up the provincial funds for other critical roads projects. Thirdly, explore alternative technologies for rural gravel roads with significant low cost of maintenance and construction. Under scholar transport, we recognize, Honorable Gade, that the challenges facing our scholar transport system cannot be solved in isolation. An effective solution requires a collaborative, interdepartmental approach so that we can go and get surgically to some of the problems that we face. We propose that the Department of Transport and Department of Education form a joint task team to address this critical issue. This collaborative approach will allow for better resource allocation, shared data management, and a unified strategy that considers both the practical aspect of transportation and the educational outcomes we aim to achieve. Only through this cooperation can we hope to overcome the complex challenges of our scholar transport system faces and provide our children with access to education they deserve. 43,000 learners who are deserving, who are not able to be accommodated, it's a travesty. Under road transport, we commend the department's focus on speed cameras. However, Honorable Ngata, based on data, based on evidence, we do not think that it will be prudent for us to focus on the road between Makanda and Kabeja, but the road that has the most fatalities, which is the, between Butterworth and Mthatha. Honorable Ngata, we also believe that we need to strengthen our enforcement, our law enforcement, increasing the number of traffic officers so that we can have more feet on the ground, as the MEC also asked, the chairperson from the previous committee also asked of us. Improving vehicle safety through a rigorous roadworthiness testing was also going to be an aspect so that we can improve our road safety. Developing a comprehensive plan for road safety action so that we can have a clear annual targets and regular performance assessments. Honorable Ngata, you agreed with me in the committee that when you drive past Tsitsikamma, your driving patterns and your attitude, maintenance and exploration of alternative methods and materials, allocating funds to increase the road maintenance so that there's proper maintenance and that can extend the lifespan of our roads. Enhance in-house capacity and absorption of those students that we fund who graduate and come back into the province. And some of these can also increase cost saving and as well as faster completion of the projects in the long run. The completion of the 235 unfinished projects, and we reiterate here that there has to be a dedicated project manager in the province. Honorable Chair, I think in conclusion, let us remember that a well-maintained and extensive network is not a luxury. It is a fundamental requirement for our economic growth, social connectivity, and improved quality of life for all of our citizens. As we move forward, let us work together to ensure that our transport infrastructure reaches every corner of the Eastern Cape, from the bustling metros to our remote villages. With a spirit of cooperation, innovation, accountability, we can turn this budget into a powerful tool for the people of our province. Honorable Chair, giving us a chair who's as formidable as you after lunch sometimes is a huge challenge, but thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Honorable Mokhatosi. Honorable Matezara, your 5 minutes starts now.
Greetings to yourself, Chair, leadership of the EFF, and all members of this House. Before I start, so that I don't forget, I must just say I reject whatever it is. Report of budget, I reject. Chairperson, let me intentionally invite you to what Karl Marx coined as a false consciousness. In defining it, he says it is a way of thinking that prevents a person from perceiving the truth the true nature of their social
Just
and
hold on,
economic situation.
Honorable Matiza, just hold on. Honorable May, if you can wait on that chair. Thanks a lot.
And intimidate to me.
You can continue.
I make this reference. This is a reference to an expectation that one would have on a department that is led by an individual who claims to be a communist, and an individual who ideally should understand the age and need of resolving the challenges of our people they face day to day. Chairperson, the reality, Chairperson, is that the Premier should have had a better understanding of a character of a person or persons who must head this department, as it plays a critical role in the life of the provincial economy. The department is referred as Transport and Economic Safety, but the department's leadership appears to view roads as the sole responsibility of the department. Let me remind this House, Chairperson, that the report under consideration has no vision for aviation, rail, and maritime industry. These areas are significant economical potential. It is unacceptable that the department lacks clear intervention strategies in place to maximize the full potential of airports in this province. To remind this House, the department only controls 2 airports. Only one of those 2 airports is operational. The one in Mthatha. When we brought this to the attention of the department said it only has 5 million on its budget to maintain EE airports. But you will remember, Chairperson, that last year we had visitors from UAE that claimed to be bringing an investment of 20 million. The question is, where is that budget? Where is that amount of money that was said to be brought by the UAE president? There is no effort to revive the province's rail network, putting additional strain on EC roads, which are already struggling to handle the volume of trucks from various parts of the country, including interchange between KZN ports and factories and Eastern Cape cities. This brings us to another challenge, a critical challenge, Chairperson, which is maritime economy. We previously stated that the Eastern Cape has a coastal belt of more than 800 kilometers. Why is it not used to boost the economy? Why do companies rely solemnly on the Durban port for import and export? The department occasionally mentions maritime strategies whose time frames and specific operations are unknown to us, particularly the transportation of goods for import and export. Now we have discussed that element. Now we have discussed the transport element and department's responsibility. What does the department actually master? The roads in EC in various is in worst possible conditions. The department does not appear to be winning anything. Instead, mentioned that it would take at least 50 years and 151 billion to fix EC roads, despite having the budget of only 5 billion. For instance, Chairperson, for now, Sandral maintains at least 5,000 kilometers of the roads of the Eastern Cape, which technically means those roads, even if the department would want to utilize those roads to intervene on the economy at a later stage, it wouldn't be able to do so. Under this department, we have seen heart-wrenching tragedies like the drowning of Akoliwe Mangweni, 2 daughters who lost their lives crossing
Time is up, Honourable Member. Thank you very much.
Okay, I reject the budget.
Thanks very much. Honourable May. Your 3 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Chairperson. Om 'n land ekonomies te laat groei moet hy oor 'n goeie vervoerstelsel beskik. Die wêreld se sterkste ekonomieë beskik oor die beste vervoerstelsel Ons spoorstelsel het totaal ineengestort en daarom is padvervoer so belangrik. I want to start on a positive note. During our oversight visit in the old Transkei, I was really surprised to see all the roadworks by Sanral and the province. It really looks like a construction site. Our national roads are in a very good condition, but not the provincial roads. One of our main problems is the contractors. In certain cases, the contractors leave a site and another contractor must be appointed. It takes time and lots of money. But my biggest concern is about the management of projects. I'm sorry to tell you again about the DLTC in Jabatina, but it's exactly what's going on as far as I know. Die wanbestuur van die projek by die DLTC in Jabatina is 'n goeie voorbeeld. Na 3 jaar is die projek voltooi. Tomorrow it's for opening day. Die vorige dag toe keer die inspektoraat dit af. Kan nie glo, miljoene rande spandeer, maar die inspektoraat sê dis foutief. Collega's, millions of rands wasted. If you want to go for your final driver's license now, you must go to Humansdorp, Kariga, or George. And I'll give you a background. In 2021, I received a complaint from one of the driving schools in Jabatina. And I went straight from Cape Town to my hometown dispatch. I went to the manager in Jabatina. I asked him what's going on. He said he received instructions from the inspectorate to close it. I said, email? Yes, email. I went straight to the municipal manager in Karedo. You know what's his words? I don't know anything about it. The next morning I went to the inspectorate in Port Elizabeth. And I said to the inspectorate, this is what's going on. He said, sir, here is the email. It was the second in charge. You know what? They are supposed to close it a day before the renovation start. The renovation started a year later. It was closed. I went there about 5-6 times. But I'll tell you, I know what's the problem. I know. The first of all, the contractor is not capable of doing the job. Secondly, where's the project manager? I ask you. Millions of rand wasted. It's not money that belongs to the provincial government. It belongs to the taxpayers. And oversight. Did anybody visit that site? I would like to know. It's now 4 years. It's still not completed. You may smile as an ANC member, but it's a waste of money.
Out. Honourable member,
Thank
your
you.
time is out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I call upon the African National Congress, Honourable Tebekana? Your 14 minutes starts now. Thank you very much.
Honourable Chair, Chief Whip of the Majority Party, the Legislature, Honourable Members of the Provincial Legislature, Honourable Premier and the Executive Council, our technocrats and the various departments, our distinguished guest and the fellow citizen present, those watching in all media platforms, receive my warm revolutionary greetings to everyone present in this August House. Honourable Chair, as we gather not merely to debate, but to affirm commitment to the values that have shaped our democratic journey, as a born free citizens of this province and a representative of the African National Congress, I stand before you proud of our legacy of our liberation dedication on the ongoing struggles of equality, social justice, and economic transformation. Our movement, born out of the aspirations of our people, continues to pursue a vision of South Africa that is inclusive, prosperous, and united. It is with this spirit that I address this pressing issue of our time, confident that together we can build a future. Allow me, Honourable Chair, to quote one of the greatest philosophers, Emile Cabral, and I quote, "Mask no difficulties, mistakes, failures, claim no easy victories," close quote. Honourable Chair, from Abram's mouth to the Premier's ears, let me applaud the commendable progress recorded over the last term. The completion of 100 kilometers of project is commendable. Projects such as Hluleka Hospital Road Phase 1 and the Willow Vale to Dwesa Nature Reserve Phase 2 show a clear focus on improving infrastructure in areas that support critically health service as well as tourism. On strategic focus on health and economic development, it's clear from the completion of hospitals, roads such as Mdwaleni and Kanzibe facilities that the strategy has been to prioritize accessibility to healthcare facilities. This has the potential to improve patients' access and service delivery. Similarly, roads leading to the nature reserve and economic hubs such as the R72 to Hamburg and the SL8 Zolwana Nature Reserve Phase 4 demonstrate a focus by our government and tourism and promoting economic development. Certainly, as a result of these projects, there has been a direct impact on local communities in terms of job creation during construction and improvement on the livelihoods post the completion of the projects. The improved road infrastructure would not only boost the economy's activity, but also to enhance access to the basic services such as healthcare, education and social services to mention few. Chair, on climate change is upon us and is merely not an environmental issue, but a profound economic challenge, and its impact on our province cannot only be ignored due to the increasing frequency and intensity of the extreme weather extreme weather events such as floods, heavy rain, and heavy waves, which contributes to the transport networks. The degeneration not only causes immediate disruption, but has long-term consequences of our economy. The deterioration of road infrastructure not only hinders access to markets, rural communities, and small business enterprises. We have to bear in mind that roads are the arteries of our economic activity, and when they are damaged or inaccessible, goods cannot be transported efficiently. Farmers cannot receive products to markets, and businesses face delays in delivery on essential suppliers. This, in turn, limits economic opportunities and growth, especially in sectors that are highly dependent on transportation. Furthermore, Chair, as road conditions worsen due to climate change, the cost of transportation rises significantly. Vehicles are forced to take longer routes, endure wear and tear, and consume more fuel, especially with those fuel hikes. Our communities can't afford such. These increased costs are based on the consumers, leading to higher prices from goods and services. Furthermore, burdening our households struggling with rising and cost of living. Additionally, Chair, the poor road condition caused by climate change-related damages also contribute to the roads and safety hazards. Crumbling infrastructure, your potholes, to mention a few. Road accidents become more frequent, and emergency services are often delayed due to impassable roads, compounding an all-human human toll due to these infrastructure failures. Honourable Speaker, the economic and social cost of these challenges are immense, and as lawmakers, we must acknowledge that the role of climate change plays in exacerbating our infrastructure problem, and takes bold steps to invest in resilient, climate-proof road networks. The budget allocation for the transport is 2,439,635 rand. for this financial year is undeniably insufficient to effectively address the existing backlog. Honourable Chair, the first quarter of this year mark as a significant milestone the opening of key projects such as the Breitbach Kids Beach interchange. Sunroll has officially taken over Magushini Flagstaff site, ensuring seamless continuation and completion of roads project aimed at improving quality of life for our people. In line with our vision of economic development and the job creation, Sunroll is currently rolling out road infrastructure project with 7 billion across the province. These include your iconic, to mention few, iconic N2 Sikaba Bridge in OR Tambo district, which will be a gateway to the economic growth, as well as the N2 project from Ngandu to Mbokotwana and Dan's Lodge to Zolwana Junction, further enhancing the accessibility to mobility in OR Tambo district. The other is the major road project include N2 Green River to Buffalo River in sequence, the N2 to Black Hay River to Komani in Krizani district, and the R58 from Lady Grey to Buckley East in Chowkabi district. Additionally, the R61 from Bizaya to Tata Airport and the N2 Breitbach and Bellstone interchange in Buffalo City Metro stands a prime example of our government's commitment to modernizing the infrastructure, to mention a few. These roads upgrades are not only crucial for improving access and mobility, but also for unlocking the economic opportunities, attracting investors, Comrade May, and supporting local SMMEs. This is the ruling party's commitment to dealing with service delivery, building a future where every corner of the province is connected, economically empowered, and ready to thrive. Go busy, kurile nale, kubeko ordendal, oti blah, blah, blah. The subject of the public transportation in the Eastern Cape is vital for the socio-economic well-being of our province, with a population of 7.6 million. The Eastern Cape relies primarily on road-based transportation mobility, with over 160,000 trips occurring between towns across long distances, which we make use of minibuses such as your taxi. They form the backbone of our transportation, carrying approximately 75%, whilst buses serve the remaining 25%. However, this is overwhelmingly depending on road-based transport reveals critical challenges that must be addressed for the sake of development and equity. Despite the vital role of public transportation, fewer than 1% of our population uses rail services. This points to a missed opportunity to develop an affordable, reliable, and more environmental sustainable rail system, which could relieve the burden from our relief-stained road networks. We've got 3 key buses that are Algoa buses, MyVuya Transport, and AB350 currently receiving operating subsidies. Whilst these companies play an important role, the efficiency and coverage of their services need constant evaluation to ensure equitable access across all regions. In addition, their intercity services provide various national bus companies over vital connectivity, but tend to focus mostly on profitable routes, leaving many rural areas unserviced. Honourable Speaker, the development of our the development of more diversified and integrated public transportation system, which includes revitalization, rail service, and enhanced road transport management, is quite critical. In the AG's report, once again, they've shed light on the deeply concerning state of affairs by the Department of Transport within our province, particularly in the areas of scholar transport, infrastructure development, and financial management. Honourable Chair, the lack of the implementation of the key internal controls and the absence of a credible automated system of monitor scholar transport, not only a technical failure, but a failure in governance and its accountability. This is not just about tracking buses, it's about ensuring safety, reducing fraud, and promoting efficiency in the department. Once more, the AG, Honourable Chair, if you allow me, also point on poor project and contract management, particularly in key maintenance and capital projects. How often do we have to cease these stalls? Hence, it's quite important for us not only to have allocated funds for these projects, but we must ensure that there is continuous monitoring and evaluation so that we can curb all the arising issues that are arising in this sector, which failure to do so will be a waste of time, money, and resources. In conclusion, Chair, this report should not be a turning point. It should compel us to not only address the issue identified, but to put mechanism in place to prevent these failures and to ensure that once again such failures don't happen again. We owe our citizens to uphold the integrity, transparency, and accountability in all areas of governance. With this said, Chair, the ANC supports the budget of 5,737,449,000 rand for the 24-25 financial year. Fighters must vote in consciousness, not guarants and emotions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Tebekana. Honourable MEC, your reply to the debate. Your 10 minutes starts now. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Chair of Chairs, the Honourable Premier, members of the Executive Council and members of the Legislature, the leadership of the House of Traditional Leaders, honourable members of the Portfolio Committee, heads of the department, including HOD Fani of the Department of Transport, government officials, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, greetings to all. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before this august house today to receive and welcome the report of the Portfolio Committee on Transport. Honourable members, allow me to express a word of gratitude to the members of this Portfolio Committee for conducting diligent exercise in assessing the work of the Department of Transport in this province. We appreciate the overwhelming support of the committee and this august house, and of course the debate by Honourable Member Tebekana, who has covered a lot of ground, showing concrete evidence of what our government has done over the past years. Honourable members, as the Department of Transport, we are striving to deliver quality services to our people. The Honourable Premier Mabuyane, in opening the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature address, declared the 7th administration as a term of action, not of noise. This meant that all government departments must move with agility in delivering services to our people. As we celebrate 30 years of freedom and democracy entering the 7th administration, the Provincial Department of Transport has vowed to conduct the business of transportation differently and address what the ANC's election manifesto directed our government to do. Through this period, the department has been instrumental in driving economic development programs by implementing multiple projects that have significantly addressed the triple challenges of poverty and unemployment and inequality. The reality is that as we enter the 7th administration, there is no corner of the province that has not been touched by the work of this department. As the Department of Transport in the province, we reaffirm our commitment of creating a better life for all, and we pledge not to leave anyone behind. We'll continue rolling out massive infrastructure delivery. We'll continue to embrace our responsibility to change the lives of our people for the better. We have invested heavily on transport infrastructure through roads upgrades, reseals, rehabilitation, and this investment on infrastructure will extend to upgrading and renovations of traffic stations and government garages, as well as management of aviation facilities. Honourable members, at the start of this academic year, it became clear that the demand for scholar transportation far exceeds the government's current ability to meet this need. It is worth noting that there are more learners who are getting the all-important transport services than those who require the service but not getting it. This despite the glaring challenge of limited financial resources that resulted to the delays in the payment of operators for services rendered in the month of January, February, and March. Honourable members, we will work tirelessly to address concerns raised by the Committee on the Performance of Scholar Transport Programme, and we commit to find solutions to all the challenges confronting this programme. And Honourable Mokgotesi, we already have a joint forum with MEC Gade. We must just strengthen it to ensure collaboration in this area. Your constructive engagement in this debate is welcomed. Honourable Chair of Chairs, I'm extremely delighted to inform this august House that our department has just attained an unqualified audit report during the 2023-2024 financial year. And I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate our officials as led by HOD, Mr. Andy Lefani, for achieving an unqualified audit report. It is a huge step, and thanks for clapping, honourable members, a huge step after a stagnant audit opinion of successive years. And of course, we have said that it's not a call for celebration. It's a call for us as a department to ensure that we don't regress from this point. And this demonstrates that our officials are committed to taking this department to greater heights. These achievements remind me of what one Chinese philosopher once said, I quote, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step," close quote. The above quotations means that no matter how big your goal is, you can achieve it if you take the first step. This is exactly what we did. The ultimate goal is to achieve a clean audit report. The department is reinforcing its partnership with SANRAL and making strides to forge ahead with ensuring that the provincial road network benefits from the fiscal allocated by national government to the National Roads Agency. We have worked collaboratively with SANRAL and to construct the completed state-of-the-art Bellstone Bridge in Breibach interchange. We also contributed resources there as a Department of Transport as our joint project. The one in Kiss Beach is another joint project that we're doing, not funded solely by SANRAL, but we're also contributing. And even if it was funded solely by SANRAL, it's still the taxpayers' money, not a private, So the Bellstone Breibach project is a good example of the collaboration between our department and SANRAL and putting together resources to build this state-of-the-art interchange in the metro. As a provincial government, we've requested SANRAL to adopt some of the dilapidated roads due to the financial constraints confronting our department. I've met at the direction of the Premier, I've met with the current Minister of Transport, and she has in principle registered her support and encouraged us to do the submission, which we did. SANRAL is busy with doing an assessment of the list of roads we have submitted. We are looking forward to the investment of 50 billion rand by SANRAL to improve the road network in the province over the next 5 years. In reality, Honourable Member, the road beyond Tsitsikama is still a national road, not a Western Cape government road. And the investment on cameras is done by SANRAL, not Western Cape government. It's a demonstration, really, how these national agencies have been sort of biased in their investment, neglecting the Eastern Cape. Even if you want to talk about the toll roads, all other provinces have got toll gates, but not the Eastern Cape. That's why we welcome, after the robust engagement led by the Premier, all these agencies are beginning now to focus on the province with concrete investment through our work. So let's not claim easy victories in Fabam. Honourable Speaker, the Department of Transport welcomes the committee's report, except to say the issue of Chobetina, Honourable Member, I've taken note of you have raising it for the second time. I've directed the HOD to investigate that. He's still going to be giving me a report on that. I'll come back to you. I do appreciate your concern about that, Honourable Member. And it's not worth commenting about some other things, especially if one would stand here to say, and yeah, nobody don't lena, nobody budget, I reject the budget.
Thank you very much, Honourable. Let me see. I put the report.
Agree.
Any objection? Thank you very much. I will ask the Secretary to read the fifth order of the day.
Consideration of vote number 11, Human Settlements Appropriation Bill 2024.
Thank you very much, Secretary. I would like to call upon the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlement, Honourable Tuabu. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair of Chairs. Good afternoon to you, Honourable Premier, the Executive of the Province, Honourable Chief Whip, members of the House. Let me take this opportunity, Honourable Chair of Chairs, to, on behalf of the committee, present the report of vote 11, the human settlement part of my committee. Chair, to begin with, the department has been allocated an amount of 2.38 billion rand, which is a slight improvement compared to the 2.37 billion rand of the past financial year. Now, going to the first program, I will just go to findings, Chair, but for program one, the findings there differ, but in the main, they indicate a challenge in the COE funding, which then is projecting another challenge in the implementation if some of the critical positions remain vacant in the department. So the Portfolio Committee then is requesting as a recommendation that the department, of course working with Treasury and OTP, finds a way and report to the committee on how to avert the challenges that have been found by the committee. I'll leave program 1 and program 3. Also, program 2 deals with the service delivery planning. Let me not get much in that program, Chair. Honourable members have been given the report. They'll be able to find out what the committee is saying for themselves. I want to rush to program 3. Where the 1.948 billion of the total budget is spent by the department, and where most of the departmental challenges the committee has identified. So the first finding there that the committee puts is that the department is not able to quantify the number of military veterans that are waiting to be approved for housing. As the matter is further limited by a number of factors of approval from national department. The second one, the department has a target of upgrading 74 informal settlements in the province for the current financial year, and the committee regards this target as very minimal. The department is facing a challenge of uncontrollable mushrooming of informal settlements, largely due to dire socio-economic conditions of the people. D, the department requires an amount of 3.4 billion to eradicate the remaining blocked projects, and this work is estimated to take up to about 10 years to complete. The department has targeted to support 33 young artisans and 85 MSME contractors provided with training towards sustainable business enterprises. And secondly, the people that are located in temporary residence units stay more than the regulated period of 6 months in these units. The next one is saying the department is still using brick and mortar mechanism to build housings amidst the changing weather patterns and climate change. The department indicated that people are still reluctant of their houses being built using modern technology and prefer the brick and mortar phenomenon. H, the department processes and turnaround time for housing beneficiaries are taking too long for the application of a house by a beneficiary to the approval of the beneficiary and the actual handover of the house. I, the department has 5 regional directors out of 8 that are in acting capacity, which the department sees as it may compromise stability in the regions where majority of the budget of the department is allocated. J, the department used in the presentation statistics from 2021 Housing Needs Survey and used 2016 statistics as a basis of its situational analysis. These are not a true reflection on the ground, as the survey and stats are outdated. K, the persistent challenge of contractors that are not performing satisfactorily, resulting in a higher number of blocked projects in the province. Systemic unblocking and blocking projects will lead to an audit finding of fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Then lastly, the department is facing a challenge of limited funding for rectification program due to ministerial directive cut 10% versus the huge backlog in the province. Now, the recommendation, the department must engage the Department of Military Veterans to get a total number of military veterans from the Eastern Cape that are vetted so that you get a sense of what the backlog will be. B, the department must establish a baseline for targeting in an effort of capping under targeting. Baseline must be explain the reasons for the department to set a particular target. C, the department must collaborate with other departments and private sector partners to improve the socio-economic conditions of the people, its services, and curb mushrooming of informal settlements. The department must also encourage municipalities to enforce their bylaws against the mushrooming of informal settlements and backyard sharks. We hope, Honorable Chair of Chairs, akho bantu sihleli nabo apha aba-encourage abamakuthatha imihlaba without proper procedures. D, the department must partner with the private sector and other strategic partners to raise funding to accelerate the working of eradicating blocked projects. E, the department must provide the committee with a plan on how it will select the 33 young people for artisan development and SMME contractor trained towards sustainable business enterprises. F, the department must ensure that people living with temporary residential units are provided with permanent houses within the required time. G, the department must review its strategy of building houses and infuse modern technology that is influenced by environmental realities on the ground. Coupled with this, the department must also intensify public education on ISBT and its relevance in the changing climate conditions. This will assist in allaying people's fears around this kind of buildings. H, the department must ensure that the improvement of turnaround times and must ensure that there is constant communication with the beneficiaries throughout the process, as the beneficiaries are complaining about the long wait for their approved houses. I, the department must, in the filling of critical vacant funded posts, prioritize permanent appointment of regional directors to ensure stability in the regions. J, the department must ensure that it uses the latest surveys and stats in its
1 minute left. 1 minute left.
The department must seek legal advice to deal with non-performing contractors with the aim of ensuring timeless replacement when necessary. The department must engage the National Department for Special Dispensation on rectification due to the backlog the province it has. Finally, Honorable Chair of Chairs, the fourth program that deals with human settlement property and assessment management, in it, the recommendation that I will go straight to is that the department must strengthen its mechanism and plans to monitor the issuing of title deeds and report back to the committee within 30 days of tabling this report. We acknowledge and accept the new strategy the Honorable MEC and the department are devising, that during the construction of the house, the process of issuing a title deed must be coupled so that by the time you hand over the house, you also
Your time is up, Honorable Member.
The relevant title deed. Thank you, Honorable Chair of Chairs. I'll stop there.
Thanks very much, honorable members. Honorable members, any questions to the committee? None. Questions to the MECs? Thanks very much. None. Honorable MEC, before. Honorable MEC, I'm not sure probably when you come back, I might be a little bit, but I don't see HOD, our human settlement. Because I think we've been making sense that when a reporter presented, HODs must be there. Can we then call upon Honorable King? Your 9 minutes to debate the report. Your 9 minutes starts now.
Chair of Chairs, Premier, members of this House and guests, to what extent is this department failing to achieve its Chapter 2 mandate by not recognizing that human settlements is not an end but a means to several ends? Our house is a shelter, security and investment. It is a space for family, relationships and socialization. It is a space where children can learn and play, a space of cultural and spirituality where we can perform the everyday and extraordinary rituals that we use to define who and what we are. We build on this premise that human settlement is just not about building houses. It is about transforming our cities and our towns and building cohesive, sustainable and caring community with closer access to work and social amenities. In acknowledging the deliverables of the department, the reality is the provision of service site along with the freestanding top structure is no longer sustainable due to low economic growth, declining revenue, urbanization, and the growing number of low-income households seeking access to housing in urban areas. It also fails to address the diversity of household sizes and needs. During the last NTSF period, 60,159 housing units were constructed, while the last 4 financial years of the current MTSF period, the department only constructed 32,854 low-cost houses. With the current trend of allocation, it is estimated that the average will be around 6,500 units per annum, while the Department of Human Settlements is planning to construct 6,286 units this financial year, a shortfall of 214 units. The provincial housing needs as per SETS 2022 stood at 681,773. Considering the provincial economic outlook of a technical recession and an escalating unemployment rate, the need for housing in the province is fast approaching the 700,000 mark. Despite having one of the most expansive housing programs, the backlog continues to rise. The result is an increase in informal settlement, long and expensive daily commutes, and fraud land invasion. The erosion of the family structure is evident when families are stuck in cramped TRUs for 13 years with no sight of any housing construction. Safety and security at TRU sites are non-existent as the scourge of GBV cases increase in these areas because of rape, murder, sexual abuse and sodomy. In 2018, my councillors and I provided the community at Eugene TRUs in Patu with access to drinking water when we installed 5 communal taps. This year, I again conducted oversight at this area. The situation has worsened. Wheelchair-bound people are denied freedom of movement. Women are still afraid to relieve themselves at communal toilets, and dilapidated temporary structures are falling apart, forcing families to be split when seeking shelter elsewhere. How do we expect the community to have trust in the Department of Human Settlements' ability to give them a house, a place to call home, when realities on the ground does not correlate to their unqualified audit opinions? With 40,000 houses needing rectification, the current approach to where communities are passive recipients of inadequate housing in areas of low economic activity must come to an end. The situation is exacerbated when implementing agents abandon sites and municipalities are ineffective to roll out bulk infrastructure. This led to the Eastern Cape construction mafia intercepting many housing projects and extortionists standing in the way to construct and deliver houses within the stipulated time. Rogue implementing agents and Parisian extortionists have declared war on our government and housing beneficiaries. The abandoned Maritzeng housing project in Matatial is testament of one project having multiple implementing agents at ballooning cost. This is one of the 72 unblocked housing projects which the department is going to complete at a cost of 3 billion rand shortfall. As we reviewed the budget, it became clear that the minuscule 0.5% increase is not linked to the cost of living. The decrease of the USDG and the ISUPG forced the department to review their KPIs downwards in order not to renege on their priorities. An integrated ICT system linking human settlements with municipalities must be prioritized to initiate the digitization and biometric verification of beneficiaries. A centralized database to assess the needs and project advancement at all levels must be implemented. However, funding shortfall of 33 million rand to fill 59 critical vacant funded posts have led the department to have insufficient personnel to render ICT services in critical programs. Since the department have reached its ceiling to recruit the critical skills, consideration needs to be given to collaborative partnership with the private sector and institutions of higher learning to render the service for the department or facilitate integrated systems upgrade. The Western Cape Housing Department database and Human Settlements app is the first provincial app of its kind in the country. The app ensures easy access to information of housing assistance, first-time registration, or to update details on the housing demand database. The HDD system is linked to all municipalities in the Western Cape as well as the Deeds Office, allowing the Western Cape Department of Human Settlements to follow a complete thread of an individual's housing application, preventing double dipping and assisting the Western Cape Department of Human Settlements and municipalities with better allocation and planning of housing opportunities, a benchmark the Eastern Cape Department of Human Settlements will benefit in pursuing. An integrated ICT system will make it easier to issue title deeds, culminating into a quicker turnaround time, thereby limiting enforced informality. The consideration by the Human Settlements Department to register and issue title deeds to homeowners at the inception phase of construction must be cautiously approached, as this could lead to compliance implications, especially Section 10A1 of the Housing Act, which prevent the state-subsidized houses from being sold for at least 8 years. At the heart of Human Settlements' failure to adequately spend its Human Settlements Development Grant and the Informal Settlements Upgrading Grant is land invasions organized by opportunistic criminals or motivated by political opportunism, like some parties in the House at the expense of law-abiding citizens. By Fynbos Buffalo City Metro het ons 'n geval waar die wettige eienaar van die behuisingsprojek nou al 13 jaar in opgeknopte pandokkies bly. Vinnige ingryping in hierdie projek is dringend nodig. Tightening legal processes through contract management and advancing payment on a completion phase basis must go hand in hand with legislative review, consequence management, and the establishment of a centralized database of all implementing agents across various departments. Innovative, sustainable building technologies is the way to go. Koga municipality is progressive with its innovative techniques to address housing crisis. This piloted project of 3D houses yielded great success, but was hamstrung by limited funding and the reluctancies of the Human Settlements Department to come on board. We as the DA align ourselves with a statement that private initiatives must be harnessed to deliver houses at a scale that is suited to the needs of beneficiaries. The economic reality of state capacity amidst rising demands have in the end made this approach inevitable. We are learning from the GNU that collaborative partnerships are inevitable to achieve the ideals of the NDP. We are committed to extending our knowledge and our expertise to craft policies and legislation that will ensure people have decent housing opportunities. Now listen, ANC. A passive political stance is no longer the option. The idea of a one-party approach is no longer benefiting the people of the Eastern Cape. We will see perpetual unemployment continuing if we do not work together as one party, one state, to make sure that at the end of the day, the Eastern Cape progress beyond just being mere a handout province, but a province that thrives. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable King. Honorable members, on my right-hand side, there is an exit door there. You'll see that most members who are sitting on that side, they are wearing what you call Honorable Ngata or Chochufe. It's because each and every member who lives through that door remains open. Can you close the door if you choose to use that door? So I have received formally the complaint now. Thank you very much, honorable members. May I call upon Honorable Alon? Your 5 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Chairperson. Protocol observed. Chairperson, I just need to pass just a message. The Red Beret is the only political party that does not suffer with what Plato, the father of the Western philosopher, called the Walter Mitty syndrome. We are the people of science. That is why we are not part of GNU. Honorable Chair, I would like to start this debate by drawing the House to the following. As we confirm in this House today to discuss the budget vote for human settlement, after her home was destroyed by a storm in February of this year, Tombizanele Msaule, 76 of Etembeni, Ekonge, has been residing in chilly and windy makeshift structure made of corrugated iron. She allegedly vanished from the list of recipients of temporary buildings. She may have survived the cold winter, but the rainy season is coming. For families in Ngau village and Ngobo, lost everything as a result of the catastrophic floods that struck the Eastern Cape in 2022. Due to the collapse of their homes led by middle-aged and elderly people, like have been living in dreadfully uncomfortable conditions which relate relatives and families. Even as far back as November 2023, these families were promised temporary housing. However, they are still waiting for help. We have a situation in Ward 31 Buffalo City where a whole community occupied and built on private land out of desperation for land and place to raise their children. Following a back and forth between the landowner and the community, over 20 families were forcefully ejected from their homes last night with the help of the private security guards. Buffalo City Municipality has repeatedly pledged in media on other platforms to purchase the land for these people so they can continue living their lives. They now feel as though the government has abandoned them, leaving them in the cold literally. The issue raised above, Chair, Speaker, affect thousands of people across the Eastern Cape who have been promised housing, been confirmed will get housing, only for corrupt individuals and an incompetent government leaving them bebambe iliwa for decades. It is heartbreaking stories like these ones above and many more that we come across that make us enraged when we are expected to sit and adopt budgets that do not consider such plights and challenges. It is these heartbreaking stories and the clearly nonchalant attitude of this department which underplays its rot and failures that makes us reject this budget. The EFF vehemently rejects the budget vote for the Department of Human Settlement, as this department has failed our people over and over again, and this budget does nothing but entrench dysfunctional. One example is that we are pouring money into ICT upgrades while lacking the personnel to manage these systems. The department has a 10% vacancy rate with 59 funded posts left unfilled, including critical positions. Female representation at senior management level, as well as the representation of people with disability, remains embarrassingly low. We are continuing funding a department that cannot account for its own failures. Why should we trust this budget when it cannot even ensure compliance with basic financial and operational oversight? A budget vote like this essentially condones the status quo, a status quo of deprivation, suffering, and broken promises. What is even more damning is that department's archaic insistence on brick and mortar mechanism for housing construction, despite the urgent need for climate-resilient modern technologies. And let's not forget the endless delays in issuing title deeds and the rampant corruption among contractors. This department is crippled by mismanagement and plagued by inefficiency. In conclusion, Chairperson, the EFF will never support a budget that fails to meet the most basic needs of our people. We reject this budget because it is betrayal of every people it is supposed to serve. This is not just about numbers on page. It is about lives, homes, and dignity. And this department with this budget will provide none of that. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thanks very much, Honorable Aloni. Honorable Puya. Honorable Puya. Do you have Honorable May? Honorable May, your 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. We already ran out of funds, but now we are running out of time and RDP houses. Why? The Department of Human Settlements have a house backlog of 500,000 units. The department completed 60,000 house units in the past 5 years, 12,000 per year. How are we going to solve this problem? The department has more than enough land to develop, especially in the Buffalo City and the Nelson Mandela Metro. This land was rezoned from agriculture to residential by the Department of Public Works. The country's population grew from July 23 to July 2000. The economic growth in South Africa is less than 1%, and the population growth 1.5%. If you compare it with China, in 2020, the population growth was 0.3, and the economic growth 6.1%. Then you can build the houses. Onder die swak ekonomiese groei kan geen land so vinnig in 'n groeiende bevolkingsaanwas regverdig nie en van huise voorsien nie. The economic growth must be higher than the population growth. Ek wil vir u sê, ek weet mense hou nie af as jy dit sê nie. Ons sal ons kinders moet sê en kleinkinders om minder kinders te hê in hierdie land. Daar is nie 'n ander antwoord nie. Ek is een van 11 kinders. Ek het 3 kinders en die res van die 11 het saam 20. Daar is nie 'n ander oplossing nie. Wat gaan ons maak? Wil ons eerder kinders sien sonder huise of sonder kos? Of moet ons maar so aangaan asof ons niks aan kan doen nie? Die goeie nuus is, ek het verlede week, I spoke to 2 young ladies and both of them agree. Both of them. And one of the reasons is for high cost of living. Die invloed van mense uit Afrika vererger ook nog die posisie. Ek wil vir u sê, as 'n persoon 'n huis gekry het, dan moet hy vinnig die titelakte kry. Hoekom sê ek dit? Want die oomblik as hy 'n titelakte het, het hy toegang tot 'n finansiële instelling. Hy kan geld gaan leen of hy kan 'n verband neem en hy kan sy huis vergroot of verbeter. Wat beteken dit? Hy het toegang tot 'n beter lewe, want die waarde van die huis verhoog. Somebody said something, one of the previous speakers said something about the Transkei and the mines. Yes, I remember those days. I was in the Sikisiki. Many buses with men on their way to the mines. But I'll tell you exactly the same thing is now going on in South Africa. The migration to the Western Cape. And the only solution is we must create jobs in the Eastern Cape. If you travel from Muizenberg into the airport in Cape Town, 17 kilos with shacks.
Yeah.
Only one solution, minder kinders.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Konza. Honorable Konza, from the African National Congress, your 14 minutes starts now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chair of Chairs. Good afternoon to everybody. Umbuliso awuphindwa. But let me just greet the public, members of the public that are watching us, the beautiful people of the Eastern Cape, and the beautiful country of that is South Africa. Kuzo zonke platform abasimamele kuzo. Siyababhotisa. Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs, it is an honor for me to stand here this afternoon and make a contribution towards the report that was submitted or presented here by the chairperson of Human Settlements. I wish to preface this debate by expressing my sincere gratitude, but also to put it into context in relation to the mandate that was once given to us as we are all sitting here by Utata Oliver Reginald Tambo. When, on the 16th of December in 1971, when addressing the 10th anniversary of the ANC's Liberation Army, the real Umkhonto weSizwe, had this to say: and he called it the New Order. And I quote him, "The African National Congress of South Africa has remained faithful to the cause of freedom. It leads the national struggle for the emancipation of all oppressed and exploited black people. It stands for a new order in South Africa, where it ensures human dignity and equality for all." And I quote, "It is this mandate, honorable members, that makes also the report of human settlement and puts it into context. Because as Utatu Oliver said, the faithful and consistent call of the ANC has been to ensure that there is human dignity and equality for all, and that it shall prevail for people to enjoy it. If therefore we speak human settlements, we speak that dignity, we speak that equality. Where the previously disadvantaged, especially people that were put on the periphery, who are the blacks in this country and the majority, could not even enjoy ownership of a security place. So we want to emphasize that this is indeed a mandate that we have to carry in order to ensure that our masses out there enjoy that equality and that freedom. Moving forward, Honorable Chair of Chairs, today I rise on behalf of the African National Congress to express its full support, or our full support, for the Human Settlements Budget vote for 24-25 financial year. The budget as it stands represents our unwavering commitment to addressing the needs of our people, particularly the most vulnerable among us, and advancing the ANC's goal of creating integrated, sustainable human settlements that restore the dignity that I spoke about. Honorable members, the African National Congress has led this nation for over 3 decades now, consistently championing the right to adequate housing as enshrined in Section 28 of the Section 26, of our Constitution as the country. Our guiding principles have always been that, and I quote this from the Freedom Charter, "There shall be houses, security, and comfort for all." One of the aspirations echoed by the ANC without fail. It is also a call that has been made in the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, especially clause number 10, which speaks about redressing and reducing inequalities amongst people. So we dare not to fail, honorable members, in taking this task and ensuring that our people see us as a beacon of hope, but not just feel that, but experience change and transformation in this sector. Through various government interventions, millions of South Africans have gained access to decent shelter, but we are cognizant of the fact that a lot still needs to be done, as you would listen to people speaking here, especially in the light of rapid urbanization, poverty, and spatial inequality, all of which are the legacy of apartheid. We can't not say that. The budget before us allocates about 2.38 billion for the Eastern Cape Department of Human Settlements, which is an investment that will drive our collective mission to build resilient communities, provide security of tenure, and to offer socio-economic opportunities for the people of the Eastern Cape. This budget speaks to the key priorities as identified by the 7th administration and is aligned with the outcomes of the National Development Plan and the ANC's 2024 election manifesto, which demonstrated that our renewed commitment to serve our people is still consistent. Honorable COC, the plans and budget of the department reflect our determination to build on the achievements of the previous, whilst redressing the persistent challenges that bedevil the delivery of various housing instruments offered by the department. Housing is not just about providing shelter. It is about creating opportunities for people to live a dignified and meaningful life. The provision of decent shelter contributes to social transformation by breaking down the barriers of apartheid spatial planning, ensuring that our communities are integrated and adequately serviced. One thing that you can do for the communities, Honorable Premier, is to restore their dignity. When you do that, you are just like you have addressed all their needs, because all their needs are based on them needing to be dignified and to be respected. It is in this vein, honorable members, that at this stage, I would like to put into record what I think is also the importance of the understanding of the function of human settlement as espoused by James Howard Kessler, who is an American writer, when he says, and I quote him, "Human settlements are like living organisms. They must grow and they will change. But we can decide on the nature of that growth, on the quality and the character of it, and where it ought to go." Close quote. So if human settlements is not a mission that we feel that we are bringing change about it, then we miss the point. Because human settlements by their nature are dynamic and they change according to the global demands. And if therefore we remain stagnant, we miss the call. These investments that I am talking about, or the department's commitment to providing about 6,284 low-cost housing units, the provision of 6.6 serviced sites, and the upgrading of 29 informal settlements to this is very commendable. These interventions, looked at the basis of the quote that I have just made, not only address the housing backlog, but also improve the living conditions of thousands of households across the province. Importantly, the provision of secure tenure through the accelerated registration and issuance of about 8,500 title deeds will assist beneficiaries in securing tenure and unlocking the value of their homes, which will contribute to their economic empowerment. Issuance of title deeds is a transformative issue. It is a political issue. It is an equality issue. Therefore, we dare not fail our communities in that regard. Honorable COC, the African National Congress remains resolute in its commitment to prioritize vulnerable groups in the allocation of housing opportunities. The budget presented by the department includes specific provisions of military veterans, as reflected in them being allocated 65 housing units for the 24-25 financial year. We acknowledge the challenges in the previous financial year where fewer than planned units were delivered, but we are confident that finalized policy for military veterans housing will guide us to achieve the set targets going forward. It would be redundant of me to explain and try to explain to you the importance of us taking care of our military veterans. We acknowledge the challenges now. In addition, honorable members, this budget is a tool for economic growth and empowerment of designated groups.
The department has allocated 40% of the human settlements development grant and the upgrading of informal settlement partnership grants to designated groups, which include women and youth, who are being granted an opportunity to meaningfully participate in the construction of the value chain. If one would just say one thing, is that these groups are those that have been in the periphery of economic growth. These groups were those that have been witnessing growth happening around them, but without them. So it's important that they are prioritized. Honorable COC, we should all be beaming with pride because of the department's effort in creating 85 SMME empowerment opportunities for young people. These initiatives directly contribute to job creation and skills development, which are essential for economic upliftment of our people. In appreciating the efforts of the department, we must also confront the reality of blocked housing projects that have been delayed by various challenges, including contractor underperformance and the lack of infrastructure in some areas. We implore the department to continue providing necessary resource on unblocking these projects, that the already seen 58 projects revived, translating to the delivery of the 12,000 low-cost housing as planned. As the ANC, we have long emphasized the need to environmentally friendly construction methods, and the ISBT is a critical component of such a change and our strategy to reduce our carbon footprint while providing quality homes that are adaptable to our changing times. Honorable COC, the Eastern Cape is home to some of the country's most prestigious institutions of higher learning, but it continues to grapple with the twin challenge of inadequate student housing and entrenched spatial inequality. It was as far back as 2020.
Your time is up, Honourable Member.
Okay. We therefore we therefore support the budget, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honourable Konza, Honourable MEC, a reply to the debate. Your
Thank
10
you very
minutes
much,
starts
Chair.
Your 10
I
minutes
was
starts
in graveyard shift, Chair of Chairs. So graveyard shift. Greetings to yourself, Chair of Chairs. Greetings to the Deputy Speaker, the Honourable Premier, the Chief Whip and the MECs, all the members of the legislature, DGs, HODs, and all present. Chair, we're in the graveyard shift, so I'm going to try and not be long, but I think it's important that we welcome the oversight report by the Portfolio Committee of Public Works, Infrastructure and Human Settlements. And I think worth noting, Chair, that we are debating this report in the beautiful month of September. Amongst other things, it is an international month for deaf people. And on that note, I think I would like to ask members to just take a moment and appreciate our sign language interpreters who continue to provide an invaluable service for our august house. Siyanibulela, sinixabisile, umhle umsebenzi wenu. But also I wish to extend gratitude to the Portfolio Committee on their valuable insights that will continue to guide us on our mission of delivering decent shelter to the people of the Eastern Cape. With that, we fully welcome the constructive criticism from the majority of the members of the House, including the Portfolio Committee, and we truly take that to heart. But we also note that Honourable King did not miss an opportunity to praise their Western Cape masters and forgot to mention that in the midst of the challenges that the department is faced with, there is a turnaround plan in place and that has begun to bear results. And let us be factual in this House and not bring half-truths. And no amount of superiority complex will undermine the efforts of this government to deliver integrated human settlements. Honourable Aloni, it would have been proper that You would just say you reject the voters. It's within your right based on the mandate you have received. And there's nothing wrong with that. Instead of coming here and making dangerous insinuations and not reflect on the positive work that we know you have witnessed and you have even commented on in the committee. But Honourable Chair of Chairs, our efforts of providing sustainable integrated human settlements are not just about building houses. They are about restoring the dignity of our people, ensuring that every citizen have a place they can proudly call home. And this is at the heart of the restorative program by the government of the people, by the people, for the people. And it is within our commitment to the ideals of the Freedom Charter, wherein it was declared that there shall be houses, security, and comfort. And we remain unwavering in that commitment. We have aligned our work with this vision, ensuring that our human settlements project are not only about brick and mortar, but also about building communities and fostering a sense of belonging and pride amongst our people. In essence, consistently with our policy paradigm shift, we are focusing on establishing sustainable, integrated human settlements that will result in new cities and new economies, changing the face of the province. That is part of our contribution to Vision 2030 and our concrete contribution in building the Eastern Cape we want. Honourable members, the delivery of decent shelter within the context of establishing integrated human settlements is a powerful tool in the fight against gender-based violence, and we understand that access to safe and secure housing can be crucial factor in protecting the vulnerable women and children through our integrated housing projects. We are creating safe spaces that empower women and provide them with the stability needed to break free from cycles of violence and abuse. Our department is committed to prioritizing housing for vulnerable groups, including survivors of gender-based violence and femicide. Ensuring that housing solutions contribute to creating safer and more resilient families. By giving our people a roof over their heads, we are giving them the foundation upon which to rebuild their lives free from fear and insecurity. We've also placed a strong focus on unblocking of historically stalled projects that have for too long delayed the dreams of homeowners for many families. Through our concrete efforts, we have managed to breathe new life into these projects, pushing forward with the completion of units that have been mired in delays and bureaucratic hurdles. And in this financial year, when we're looking at the financial year 22-23, the department was facing 87 stalled or blocked projects, affecting over 23,975 housing units. At the end of 23-24, 71 of these projects have been unblocked. And this is thanks to the various interventions, including the establishment of a contractor panel, our implementing agents, and securing additional funding. And we continue to engage with our stakeholders and robust monitoring and a commitment to addressing some systematic issues which will be key in ensuring the successful completion of this project. And that work has not been easy, but we are determined. We are pushing back against the legacy of delays and inefficiencies, and we are ensuring that projects that have long been promised are finally delivered. This is more than just a house. It is about fulfilling a commitment made to our people, and it is about righting the wrongs of the past. And Honourable Chair of Chairs, it is in that context that we wish to remind the honourable members of this House that it was the TRC that recommended that the geographic name change process must be utilised as a vehicle to bring South Africans closer than in the past, and to also redress past imbalances in which the landscapes reflected and depicted colonial conquest. Hence, it is highly offensive, Honourable Chair of Chairs, for us to sit in this House and continue to listen to the Honourable May referring to the OR Tambo District Municipality as the former Transkei area. This is equal to saying Honourable Magotosi and Honourable Gade are the same person merely because bengezo yellow bones bobabini. Ukuzothetha nge-Old Transkei kule ndlu yowiso-mthetho inukubuhlanga. Kuthiwa ke Chair of Chairs, umenzi uyakhohlwa, umenziwa akakhohlwa. It has just been only 30 years. It is too soon. It was with this understanding that ivunjana lobuhlanga into ekhoyo and kusekho abantu abakuthi abasaphila namanxeba obandlululo, that at the heart of our mandate is the commitment to restore the dignity of our people through the provisioning of housing. We recognize that a home is more than just a structure. It is a cornerstone of one's identity and sense of self-worth. When we hand over keys to a new homeowner, we are not just handing over a building, we are handing over a renewed sense of hope and a promise for a better future. Honorable members, while we have made significant progress in housing delivery, we also recognize the need to transform the material supply and the construction sector. We are committed to ensuring that these sectors reflect the demographics of our society and provide equal opportunities for all. Our focus is on empowering the previously marginalized communities, especially women, youth, and people with disabilities, to participate meaningfully in these sectors. We are working to break down barriers that have traditionally excluded these groups from the construction and the material supply industry through targeted interventions, skills development programs, and preferably procurement policies. We will be deliberately creating an environment where emerging contractors and suppliers can thrive and compete on equal footing. Now, through our initiatives, such as the Women Empowerment Program in the construction sector, we will be providing training, mentorship, and business opportunities. Honourable Chair of Chairs, we will be taking decisive steps to enhance our service delivery, streamline our processes, and ensure that our projects are completed on time and within budget. The efficiency and the effectiveness of our department must match the expectations of the people we serve. And another critical area of focus will be the acceleration of the delivery of title deed. Home ownership is not complete without the legal documentation that confirms one is a home owner. Honourable Chair of Chairs, the issuance of title deed is not just a bureaucratic exercise, but is an act of affirming the ownership and the security of tenure of our people. We are committed to speeding up this process, ensuring that every homeowner receives their title deed without unnecessary delays. I wish to reaffirm our department's commitment to the principles of transformation, transparency, accountability, and service excellence. We are dedicated to working closely with the Portfolio Committee, this House, and all our stakeholders to ensure that we continue to deliver on our promise of decent shelter for all. Together, let us build a province where every family can live in dignity, where every child can grow up in a safe and secure home, and where every citizen can take pride in the place they call home. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Missy. Honourable members, I put the report. Any objection? Thank you very much. I will ask the Secretary to read the sixth order of the day.
Consideration of vote number 12, Provincial Treasury, Appropriation Bill 2024.
Thank you very much. I will call upon Honourable Benjamin Kamelin to present the... Your 10 minutes starts now, Honourable Member.
Thank you, Honourable Chair of Chair. Greetings to you, Honourable Chair of Chairs, the Honourable Premier, His Executive, Honourable Members, the gallery, and those that are listening on the platforms. Chair, I'm here to present Budget Vote 12. I'll go straight to the findings. 1, administration. A, the revised departmental organizational structure that was long overdue has been validated by the Department of Public Service and Administration. The department indicated that the process of implementation of the organizational structure will be finalized by the 31st of August. The recommendation A, the department must furnish the committee with a report on the progress of the implementing the structure by the end of the current financial year. Finding B, there was omission of some programs in the tables contained in the provincial estimates of the revenue of the expenditure. Recommendation B, the department must improve in quality assurance of documents tabled in the legislature. If I go to Program 2, Sustainable Resource Management, the findings, finding A, the province has been slow in realizing its revenue potential despite the start of the implementation of the revenue study recommendations. The recommendation A, the department must submit to the committee strategies ensuring revenue collection from the department that have potential to raise its revenue collection. Finding B, the provincial financial position as of 30th June 2024 showed the department with material over expenditure when compared to the original budgets are transport by 449.371 million and public works by 210.081 million. The recommendation, the provincial treasury, together with the Office of the Premier, must develop a strategy to support the departments to overcome over expenditure and share with the committee the progress. Program 3, Asset and Liability Management. Findings A, Provincial Treasury articulated that the contract management framework provides uniformity of contract management activities in the provincial departments, capacitation of the contract management officials, eradication of deviations and minimization of variation orders. Although there are such interventions in some of the departments, the variation orders requested and approved exceeds the amount of the actual project. The recommendation, Provincial Treasury must ensure that there is no misuse of variation orders and disciplinary action should be taken where thresholds on variation orders has been exceeded. Program 4, Financial Governance. Finding A, the Provincial Treasury articulated that plans are in place for the 2024-25 financial year to ensure an improvement on the audit outcomes of departments, education, health, and transport. The departments, education and health, are currently developing project plans to address the findings identified by the Auditor General for submission to the Provincial Treasury by the 30th of September 2024 to enable monitoring of the progress. The recommendation, the Provincial Treasury must ensure that plans are in place and implemented. Provincial Treasury must share the plans with the committee when submitted. Finding B, the committee finds discomfort to learn that there are no adequate plans in place to minimize risk in protection of whistleblowers. Recommendation B, the Provincial Treasury together with the Office of the Premier must ensure that the adequate plans are in place and that whistleblowers receive maximum protection. Program 5, Municipal Finance, Financial Governance. Findings A, 9 municipalities in the province adopted unfunded budgets for the 2024-25 financial year. The municipalities are Dr. Bayes Nodia, Makana, Blue Crane Route, Sundays River Valley, Amatola, Amahlati, Krasani, Enoch Ngijima, and Walter Sisulu. Although Provincial Treasury is assisting municipalities, there is still poor financial management. The recommendation, the Provincial Treasury must continue to assist municipalities and ensure that they recover on their poor financial management. They should also share with the committee the tools developed by National Treasury to assist provincial treasuries on this activity. Finding B, the Provincial Treasury indicated that there are late or no payment of municipal debt by government departments, although other departments are engaged in paying off the debt. This is a repetitive finding as government departments owe municipalities. Recommendation B, the Provincial Treasury must ensure that there is payment agreement entered into between the departments and the respective municipalities and report to the committee the progress. Finding C, poor revenue generation by some municipalities compromise the rendering of services to the disadvantage of indigent and deprived communities. Recommendation C, the Provincial Treasury, together with the Office of the Premier and COCTA, must look into strategies to improve revenue generation of municipalities and together with the departments such as Social Development and SASSA work together to assist indigent and deprived communities. Finding D, some district municipalities struggle to deliver their mandate with respect to water and sanitation. Recommendation D, consideration should be made by Provincial Treasury together with COCTA to have capable local municipalities taking over the functions. Provincial Treasury must report to the committee the progress. General findings, General finding A, the department has been underspending for the past 13 years. This is a repetitive finding. The recommendation, the department must develop a plan with mitigation strategies that will overcome the underspending and report to the committee before the end of the financial year. Consequence management must be applied where necessary. The Portfolio Committee on Finance wishes to express its gratitude to the MSc and officials of the department for their cooperation during Budget Vote 12 meetings. Thank you very much, Honourable Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chairperson of the committee, Honourable Benjamin. May I invite questions or clarities to the Chairperson and the committee members? May I invite clarities, questions to the MSc? None. Thank you very much. May I call upon... Oh, sorry. Honourable Saziwa.
Thank you, Chair of Chairs. Program 3, finding A, the committee is indicating that for the three identified departments, there are plans for them to improve audit outcomes. MEC, does that mean it is for the first time that these departments have plans? Or what is the shortcoming of the plans that they've been having in the previous financial years? Because I don't believe that this department did not have any plans to improve the audit outcomes.
Of Chairs, I will respond to that question on the podium.
Thank you very much. Dr. Fick, Democratic Alliance, can you? Your 9 minutes starts now.
Thank you, Honourable Chair of Chairs. Honourable Speaker, Honourable Premier, Honourable members of the Executive Council, Honourable members of the Eastern Cape Provincial Legislature, heads of department, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. In the MEC's budget vote speech, he stated, this era presents yet another opportunity to correct where we erred and continue to improve on areas where we had done right. Honourable Speaker, our people have been patient for 30 years and they're running out of patience and we're running out of time. We cannot continue to err. Allow me to give some context and background to where we find ourselves. Percentage expenditure by public entities, while expected to be at 50% by the end of second quarter, most of the entities are sitting at around 25% of the spending in quarter one, which, if that trend continues, should be 50% at the end of quarter two. There are, however, 3 entities that are below the threshold, namely Kuche Development Corporation sitting at 14%, Eastern Cape Socio-Economic Consultative Council at 22%, and Maibuye Transport Corporation sitting at 22% after quarter one. Overall expenditure for all public entities at the end of quarter one is 20%. As of the 31st of March 2024, the Department of Health had legal claims to the amount of 22.35 billion rand. During the first quarter of 2024-2025 financial year, that department recorded 17 new medical legal claims amounting to 142 million rand. The closing balance reported at the end of quarter one amounted to 22.5 billion rand, claims of which 99% was medical legal claims. Audit opinions for the 2023-2024 financial year revealed the Departments of Education and Health received qualified audit opinions. The Department of Education is qualified mainly due to failure to properly account for immovable capital tangible assets in line with the modified cash standards. This is as a result of immovable tangible assets that were not valued correctly due to incorrect application of the methodology for measuring assets at fair value. Furthermore, there was a lack of sufficient appropriate audit evidence that immovable assets were properly accounted for due to the status of the accounting records. The Department of Health received a qualified opinion in contingent liabilities due to not properly accounting for contingent liabilities. Differences were noted between source documents and amounts disclosed in the contingent liabilities register. In addition, some of the claims were valued using incorrect discount factors as per the categories for clinical domains. The department has proposed that Provincial Treasury must fast-track Scopa's condonation of 2.4 billion rand in unauthorized expenditure. I believe, MEC, that we must support the proposal. If this is supported by Provincial Treasury, it improves the chance of the Department of Health supporting the budget. The MEC pronounced, on the other hand, to continue with the implementation of consolidation measures in an effort to find the balance between revenue and expenditure, and those include implementation of the turnaround plans at the Department of Health and Education, intensify the use of zero-based budgeting, continue with the implementation of cost containment measures, limit the growth of compensation of employees, ensuring infrastructure projects are properly planned, and curbing medical claims at the Department of Health. Honourable MEC, we support you in these endeavours, as this will ensure investment and consequently economic growth. For the department, actual expenditure increased from 367 million in 2021 to a revised estimate of 429 million in 23-24. The increase is mainly due to upgrade and maintenance of ICT infrastructure and additional allocations received for medico-legal interventions at health. In 2024, the budget increases by 11.4% to 478 million, mainly due to the filling of critical vacant posts as well as funds ring-fenced for new posts in the new organizational structure. Compensation of employees increased by 318 million from 318 million in 2021 to a revised estimate of 330 million in 23-24, mainly due to ICS adjustments. In 2024-25, the budget for compensation of employees increases by 12.5% to 371 million, mainly due to the filling of critical vacant posts and the appointment of contract personnel for provincial interventions. The department has a 78-22 cost of employees to budget ratio against a provincial target of 60-40. Goods and services increased from 38.5 million in 2021 to a revised estimate of 77.2 million in 23-24, mainly due to additional allocations received for medico-legal interventions at the Eastern Cape Department of Health. In 2024, the budget increased by 18.1% to 91.8 million, mainly due to funding ring-fence for new posts in the proposed structure. Honourable Speaker, Premier Mabuyane stated that change takes time. How much time do we need? 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, 50 years? Definitely not. The fact of the matter is that if we change at this slow pace, we will not achieve growth and the creation of jobs as outlined in the NDP. Honourable Speaker, our people have been patient for 30 years. We are celebrating 30 years of democracy, but the plan is moving at a snail's pace. Attacking poverty and deprivation must therefore be the first priority of this democratic government. Let us be reminded of what is included in the plan. The National Development Plan has a number of enabling milestones, including increasing employment from 13 million in 2010 to 24 million in 2030. The unemployment rate should fall from 24.9% in June 2012 to 14% in 2020 and to 6% in 2030. It's going the wrong way. Real GDP increased by only 0.4% in the second quarter of 2024. The South African economy is not growing at the pace which is conducive to job creation. Our efforts to boost investor confidence and to grow the economy must be detailed in the appropriate policy documents. However, we stress growth should be the first inclusion on our agenda, meaning that we recognize our efforts to address socio-economic exclusions depend on and will be accelerated by a growing economy. So here's what we believe should be done to stimulate the economy in the Eastern Cape. And we agree with some of the promises and proposals made by the Honourable Premier and the Honourable MEC. A departmental productivity of 85% for the 2024-25 financial year, increasing to 90% in the outer years is targeted. Reducing underspending in the department. While there may or may not be a correlation between low productivity and underspending, better planning, monitoring and execution of processes will address this in order to achieve the desired outcome. Austerity measures need to be enforced. Examples that come to mind is whether cash in hand should be given when we go on oversight. An implementing agent like Kucha Development Corporation, should they really be used to purchase our airline tickets? The MEC pronounced that the province has been slow realising its own revenue. I raised this question in the committee, and one of the responses was, if a patient attends one of the public hospitals and he or she stays there for a couple of nights and moves to a private hospital, he goes missing and we don't bill him and we don't find him. The province is reinforcing the work that is being done by Sandal. Honourable Speaker, 2030 is around the corner. We don't have the luxury of time. Let's work together and we can show a better life for our people. I thank you.
Honourable Matigizala. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Chair, the 5 minutes here intimidate you. Angathi ndiyaboleka noba zeze 8 Chair of Chairs, honourable members, Economic Freedom Fighters vehemently rejects this report on finance and provincial expenditure. We can't forget to reject. This report as presented, it is not only insufficient but fails to address fundamental challenges that continue to cripple our financial stability of Eastern Cape. It ignores an urgent need for sustainable revenue generation and neglects the pressing issues highlighted in the department's own finding and recommendation. Despite challenges, this government, through various essential departments, has over the past 5 years returned around 2 billion to Treasury. It is even more worrisome to hear that this underspending has been going on for over 13 years. This is clear indication, Chairperson, that Eastern Cape does not only lack funds to service our people, but also lacks political leadership that is interested in rescuing our people from poverty. Through this department over the years, numerous promises to strengthen local economic development, address unemployment, improve service delivery were made. Yet this report and those of previous years make no provision for those bold declarations. Calls have been made for a focus on improving financial management at the municipal level, but no positive results have been yielded. Eastern Cape municipalities in the past 5 years have returned at least an amount of 2.2 billion to Treasury. As mentioned by the previous committee, at least 9 municipalities adopt unfunded budget. The provincial treasury continues to fail in its duty to ensure the financial health of this province. We are dependent on national grant for over 98% of the budget. This is not sustainable, honourable members. How can we claim to be building a future for the people of the Eastern Cape when our own financial independence is non-existent? The provincial treasury set a revenue target of 5.4 billion. Yet, in the last decade, they were only able to collect 1.8 billion a year per financial year. Chair of Chair, The handover report from the last term raised critical issues about revenue generation and underutilization of public assets. Without, Chair, the Department of Public Works, for example, Chair, we requested that it present an audit report of the properties that it has that can assist in a revenue collection, but there is no such report on the Public Works Department, Chair of Chairs. Without a serious intervention, Chair, we cannot expect the department to be able to assist our government to meet its financial obligations. We have on numerous occasions raised concern about the debt owed by government departments to municipalities. This ongoing issue cripples local governments and prevents them from providing basic services such as water and sanitation. Yet this budget fails to address these interdepartmental debts. This budget fails to establish the necessary structures to support local business. Instead, we continue to rely on external suppliers, further draining our economy, robbing the people of Eastern Cape of opportunities to grow their own businesses and create jobs for the people of this province. Honorable Chair, we will not miss the opportunity after raising these issues that we reject this budget, we reject this report, if you want to coin it in that way. Thank you very much, Chair of Chairs.
Thank you very much, Honorable Matrizela. The African National Congress, Honorable Gela, your 14 minutes. Your 14 minutes starts now, 1-4.
Honorable Chair of Chairs, the Deputy Speaker and all presiding officers, honorable members of the Executive Council, honorable Chief Whips and all committee chairpersons, honorable members of the House and all government officials, distinguished guests, people of the province of the Legions, Molweni. Honorable Chair, we wish to start off by congratulating the voters of the province for affirming the African National Congress to lead this province once more. In turn, their movement wishes to recommit itself to servicing them in a much faster and effective way. Honorable Chair, we are addressing this House 4 days after we had remembered the brutal Bishop massacre which took place on the 7th of September 1992. Yesterday, we were congratulating the ANC Youth League on its 80th anniversary, having been given birth on the 10th of September 1944. We are also saddened to remember the brutal murder of Comrade Stephen Bantu Biko at the hands of an apartheid police on the 12th of September 1977. In this month, Honorable Chair, we must also remember and celebrate the birth of umama wesizwe uComrade uNomzamo Winnie Madikizela Mandela, owazalwa nge-26 of September 1936. Indeed, we owe our being and freedom to the strides made by some of the few leaders we have mentioned above. And because of those contributions, Honorable Chair, we pledge not to fail the people of this province of the Eastern Cape. Of course, Honorable Chair, we must add that the month of September is also known to some as both the Heritage and Tourism Month. It is for this and other related reasons that as the ANC, we wish from the onset to call on the Provincial Treasury to push to the limit all departments tasked with raising revenue for the province to indeed up their game. Provincial Treasury is relating to us, Chair, that the lead departments, your Public Works and Infrastructure, your Health, Department of Transport, Economic Development, Environmental Affairs and Tourism, have a combined potential of contributing over 5.4 billion in a mid-term. We submit that this target is achievable, but it is achievable only if all hands are on deck. We therefore call upon Provincial Treasury to develop strategies in ensuring that this potential revenue is indeed realized by those lead departments. If these targets are not met, there should be consequences. Honorable Chairs, the ANC were pleased that DPSA has validated the revised departmental organizational structure that was long overdue. We expected the implementation in earnest and that the progress report be furnished to the Committee of Finance and Provincial Expenditure as soon as possible. We believe, Honorable Chair, that this will help other provincial departments and entities to follow suit. Having said the above, Honorable Chair, the ANC is pleased that the Provincial Treasury's long-term goals prioritize responsible spending by controlling budgets, managing payroll costs, increasing provincial revenue, strengthening intergovernmental fiscal relations within all three spheres of government, but also realizing cost savings. We affirm, Chair, that during these challenging times, saving money is crucial. Provincial Treasury must do this by focusing on essential services, improving on how we manage finances, ensure that our spending matches our goals and service delivery needs. We implore Provincial Treasury to continue to implement zero-based budgeting, expenditure reviews, rationalization of public entities, but also ensure the implementation of a 30-day payment to all service providers in the province. Sadly, Honorable Chair, as the ANC, we note with great concern that the provincial financial position at the 30th of June 2024 shows departments with material over expenditure when compared to their original budgets. We urge Provincial Treasury to deal with this and assist these departments in maintaining their financial stability, but also accurate reporting. In the same breath, we wish to applaud Provincial Treasury that it has articulated quite well the contract management framework, which provides uniformity of contracts in provincial departments, capacitation of contract management officials, eradication of deviations, but also the minimization of variation orders. We believe, Honorable Chair, that this will improve financial prudence, financial accountability, and improvement of the audit outcomes of provincial departments. We plead for zero tolerance of this demon called variation orders. Honorable Chair, we are delighted as the African National Congress that the provincial budget's lenience is towards the ANC focus on radical socio-economic transformation, which envisions an effective state that is decisive in pursuit of structural change, such that the biggest allocation of our provincial budget goes to social needs cluster, which is anchored on the priority areas of the ANC with a focus on education, social development, and health as the major drivers of transforming the social service sector. This perspective is highly supported by the African National Congress. Honorable Chair, enhanced service delivery must be matched with improved audit outcomes. We want to see the remaining provincial departments and entities also achieving clean audit outcomes. To this extent, we wish to appreciate the tireless efforts which Provincial Treasury has been putting in to support the departments in improving their respective audit outcomes. Another important sphere of government, Honorable Chair, houses municipalities who connect directly with our people. Municipalities too need strengthening and support. The ANC remains concerned about those municipalities who continue to adopt unfunded budgets. However, Provincial Treasury and COGTA must be steadfast in supporting this sphere closest to our own people. In the same sentence, Chair, we wish to call on all provincial departments and entities to assist these municipalities by paying their debts to them and to do so timeously. This will help in providing much needed revenue for municipalities to deliver on their mandate. Honorable Chair, the ANC is thrilled that through the local economic development framework, Provincial Treasury boosted the support for women, youth with disability, and military veterans, but also with a special focus on youth to ensure that the 30% of procurement spend is directed towards youth-owned businesses. This is commendable as the youth contributes the highest to the unemployment rate of the province. Honorable Chair, we are equally pleased that the local economic development procurement framework will be reviewed to align to the Act and its regulation once the latter has been promulgated. Moreover, Provincial Treasury's dedication to advancing economic empowerment is exemplified by the establishment of Government Procurement of Agricultural Products Initiative, facilitated by Provincial Treasury, DDIT, Dr. Da and OTP. This initiative aims to integrate small-scale farmers into mainstream government procurement. This is highly commendable to boost our local economy. The ANC, Honorable Chair, is delighted that Provincial Treasury continues to persist in its effort to oversee and mitigate conflicts of interest within provincial departments. Through these quarterly searches conducted on the system, Provincial Treasury will continue to identify officials with ownership or shareholding in businesses registered on the Central Supplier Database, and we call upon all accounting officers to monitor this, and should those be found, they should not hesitate to institute disciplinary actions against the affected officials who continue to do business with the state. Honorable Chair, we are deeply troubled as the ANC that Provincial Treasury is indeed one of those who continue to underspend their budget. We view underspending as the enemy of the service delivery, and we wish to urge Provincial Treasury to spend 100% of its budget allocation and to do so in accordance with her operational plans and APPs. Honorable Chair, all of us in this August House know the negative implications of underspending, and we do not want others to do it just because Provincial Treasury gets to suffer the same fate. Honorable Chair, the ANC is excited to learn that Provincial Treasury has developed an organizational productivity tool used to measure the level of productivity of departments. We are looking forward to the 7th administration embracing this tool to accelerate the pace of delivery and the realization of 2030 imperatives as articulated in both the NDP and the PDP of our own province. Lastly, Honorable Chair, we urge the Provincial Treasury to work tirelessly to rationalize the public entities that have been on the cards to merge. This will help these entities to maximize on their potential to develop and service the people of this serious province of the Legends. Honorable Chair, the ANC supports the report of the Portfolio Committee as was tabled earlier on, but also the budget which was presented to both the Portfolio Committee and to this House. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Geller. MEC, reply to the debate. Your 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Your 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair of Chairs. I know it's a graveyard session, and I have tried to massage KB on this and trying to reverse the votes unsuccessfully. So now I'm going for the secretary to make sure that we now start with vote 12. Perhaps I should start by responding to the question by Honorable. Greetings to you, all of you, honorable members. My apologies. You know, that's the effect of the graveyard session. By Honorable Honorable Saziwa. We continue as Provincial Treasury to monitor the outcomes of all departments when it comes to the Auditor General. Once we receive the audit outcomes, Honorable Chair of Chairs, we then instruct or write to departments to draw what we call audit improvement plans, irrespective whether you are a department with an audit with just, a few findings or you are the worst. We expect you to draw audit improvement plans based on your management letter that you will get there. And then we then scrutinize the management, the audit improvement plans. Where there are changes, we will send it back to the department, or the department would effect those changes. And once we approve, we then monitor that by departments reporting to Treasury on the progress of the audit improvement plans. So no department is left out on this process. But there are departments that we identify where we see a potential of improving. We target those departments as Treasury to say, this department we have to put more energy in improving the performance of this department. That's the distinction between where we target departments and put more effort and the general approach in all departments. I do understand the concern about the spending in quarter one. Which was raised, I think it was raised by Dr. Fig. If you would observe the spending patterns in the province, you'd actually be shocked that there is a great improvement in the previous term than all other terms. And the reason for that is that we took a decision not to allow departments to be doing specifications on the third and the last quarter. Because you would find that in the procurement plan, departments still do, specifications the third and the last quarter, and you wouldn't know, when are they going to procure? So we then approached the Premier to say, we can't accept these procurement plans. This is our proposal. Fortunately, the Premier agreed, so we returned all of them. Now departments must do specifications in quarter one and quarter two. That's the only thing that saved us. And you could see, because what we were talking about, you could see a trend where in the last quarter, a department that couldn't spend half of its budget, it spends it on the last quarter. That tells you something. So don't be concerned now on quarter one. Just observe quarter one and quarter two. You're going to see a difference. By quarter three, you will see that there will be great improvement. Something was mentioned about variation orders. I must say that it's taken away from us. We used to approve variation orders for MEC, for human settlement, when they say, when we came here and did the geotech studies for us to build houses, we sampled and there was no rock. And when we came to build the houses, I'm using human settlement because there's one department that used to bother me when I was there. When we came to build the houses, when we just moved 100 meters and there was a huge rock, and now we need more funds. And we used to reject that or say whatever. And we used to control, because that's about controlling the finances of the province. Unfortunately, now it's taken away from us. Departments approve their own variation orders, the HODs. Remember, getting a Mosasiko Glendo, we are not part of this thing. So they do these things. But as Treasury, we are going to monitor that. We are going to monitor that because we want to make sure that if it's abused, they must face the consequences. The HODs, the accounting officers, must face the consequences. So I just wanted to say that I could see that even in the report there's a recommendation that we must be strong on VOs. It's taken away from us now. Each department is approving its own variation orders. Look, no train smash. We'll find a way of monitoring that. On the health intervention, I think on this health intervention, we are doing an intervention on health, and we are partnering with the National Department of Health. We're also partnering with National Treasury, as well as, in trying to improve the performance of the Department of Health. So we do have an intervention. In fact, one of our DDGs, DDG Kalimash, has been seconded to the Department of Health to make sure that it turns around at the Department of Health. Dr. Fick. I wanted to make a comment in what Akbar May said. It's in the opmerking wat die gemaakt het met omtrent die kenners. Because his last comment was, times are very hard and the only solution is less children. En die enigste rede hoekom u sê ons moet minder kinders hê, as ek nou reg as ek sê, is as gevolg van u se ouderdom. Ons kan nie lui wees om kinders te maak nie, om ons naam vorentoe te vat. Just wanted to comment on that. On the underspending, we do. You know, the underspending in Treasury is on 3 areas. That's why it's been for a long time. It's the time that we take to fill in posts due to vacancies of natural attrition. That's the first one. And the second one has to do with medical legal cases where we budget and investigations, where we budget on medical legal cases and the court decides to postpone the case, defer it or do what, and it goes into the next year. We can't spend that fund. But the third one also has to do with investigations. Those are the areas where, and they are not in our control, unfortunately. And we will continue to underspend as Treasury in those 3 areas. It's unlike during COVID time where we underspent because we couldn't get our computers that were coming from overseas. On the revenue that is raised by Honorable Migizel, so maybe on the, we continue with the zero-based budgeting. Look, the zero-based budgeting is not supposed to...
1 minute left.
Magabi? I'll tell you 2 minutes. Okay, let me skip this one and go to municipalities. I'm doing road shows in municipalities. I've just done 2 with COCTA and OTP. And we're looking at how we're supporting municipalities to do better. And one of the things I'm raising with the municipalities has to do with how they should be getting paid by the departments. I'm challenging the mayors. I'm saying to write to me as MEC of Treasury and say this department is not paying. Because the HOD has set up some task team that is looking at this so that I can write to the MEC and the MEC accounts. And that's how and those that have written to me have been assisted. In fact, I was in Amatola when they were testifying how they were assisted, as well as in Jogab. So we're trying to mitigate it in that fashion.
Your time is up, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, honorable members. Honorable members, I put the report. Any objection? No. That concludes the discussion on the matter and the business of the day, and the House is adjourned until tomorrow. Thank you.